more about what happened to that submersible that went down to the Titanic, that is, and never came back up.
On 18th June 2023, Titan, a submersible operated by OceanGate, went missing in the international waters of North Atlantic Ocean. Titan was off the coast from Newfoundland, Canada. The submersible was on a tourist expedition to view the wreckage of the RMS Titan, with 5 individuals on board, including the founder and CEO of OceanGate, Stockton Rush. Due to the estimated 3 days of oxygen supply, there was a huge rescue efforts by the US Coast Guard and the Canada Coast Guard, which was unsuccessful. Until early on June 22nd, when the evidence of wreckage of the vessel started to emerge, leading to tragic conclusion that the vessel imploded in the ocean depth and there were no survivors. As a content creator, I'm curious to understand what happened and the different shortcuts that were taken during this expedition. We'll go through that all in detail. So today let's try to understand and figure out that what exactly would have happened with the Titan expedition. Hi everyone, I'm Satyam Shrivastava, management consultant by profession. I welcome you on my channel where we try to decipher complex situations into simpler bits. On Saturday afternoon at around 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we got the news everyone was dreading of.
In consultation with experts from within the Unified Command, the debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber. Upon this determination, we immediately notified the families.
That is the man in the video who is heading a multinational task force that has spent the last 4 days searching round the clock for the 5 people on board on Titan submersible. They've used planes, ships, submarine and subsea robots and even a remote operated vehicle. Now this remote operated vehicle was capable of descending all the way to the ocean floor to the wreck of the Titanic itself where Titan was headed. But after an expensive, exhausting and hopeful search, it is now believed that the Titan was destroyed. Here's how it happened.
Essentially, we found 5 different major pieces of debris that told us that it was the remains of the Titan.
According to the US Coast Guard, an ROV, which is a remote operated vehicle, was able to scour the ocean floor near to the Titan wreckage. A few hundred meters away, they found this.
The initial thing we found was the nose cone, which was outside of the pressure hull.
So eventually, that was clue number 1. Soon after, they found a large debris field where they found other components of Titan. They analyzed these components of what they looked like. They compared it with the design and specifications of Titan submersible, and eventually it seemed like a match.
Shortly thereafter, we found a second smaller debris field. Within that debris field, we found the other end of the pressure hull, the aft end bell, which was basically comprised of the totality of that pressure vessel.
It was all consistent with the components used to build the Titan. But they also think that the debris tells them something about how the Titan went down. Not a slow and steady leak, but rather a violent and a sudden change in pressure.
This is an incredibly unforgiving environment down there on the seafloor. And the debris is consistent with a catastrophic implosion of the vessel.
Let's understand this. A catastrophic implosion is what can happen when you're subjected to the incredible pressure of being so deep in the water. You know, the Titan wreckage happened at around 13,000 feet below the sea level. When you are that far down, the forces acting on the whole ship is many thousand pounds per square inch. You know, I have heard it. If we compare the pressure, it will be equivalent of an entire Empire State Building crushing you from all the sides.
We've taken a regular styrofoam coffee cup, and that's then strapped to the outside of the submersible in a net bag. And when we eventually come up topside and recovered, the actual same coffee cup is basically a that size.
So now the big question right now is that how such a catastrophe can happen. It was an experimental sub that was literally written on the death waiver passenger have to sign before they are onboarded. And a lot has been said about the cavalier attitude that the company CEO had when it came to safety, innovation, and pushing the envelope with, the new materials that have never been used in any of such subs. But we also learned something from this incident that tell us about the timing of implosion. You'll recall the Titan lost contact with its mothership on the surface partway through its descent on Saturday morning. But they should have returned by afternoon, but they didn't. And it was only that evening the Coast Guards were alerted. Then it was roughly another day until a Canadian plane would arrive, dropping sonar buoys into the water. You can think of sonar buoys as underwater microphone, and it gave the search team listening capabilities from the depth to where they cannot reach. So here is the thing. There's this period between Sunday and Monday where nobody had any clue what was going on down there. And the suggestion seems to be from the Coast Guard that when the implosion likely happened, they would have heard the implosion if it had happened after they released the sonar buoys in the water. But they heard.
This was a catastrophic implosion of the vessel, which would have generated a significant broadband sound down there that the sonar buoys would have picked up.
I mentioned this because it tells us something about what the crew's final moment might have been like. You see, that great fear here was that the death would have been slow and unbearable. Imagine you are trapped all alone in a 22-foot bunk which is made up of carbon fiber, and it's cold because sunlight cannot penetrate in the water, and there's limited food supply and water supply. Adding to that, you have a single porthole through which you cannot see because it will not work until and unless the ship will start its power. So it's pitch dark outside and you are running out of oxygen. So this whole agenda seems like a Hollywood movie, but this eventually happened in reality. Perhaps silver lining in all of this is that in case of a violent implosion, death would have been instantaneous.
On behalf of the United States Coast Guard and the entire Unified Command, I offer my deepest condolences to the families. I can only imagine what this has been like for them, and I hope that this discovery provides some solace during this difficult time.
On board the Titan included Hamish Harding, a British billionaire and an explorer, Paul Henry, a renowned French diver, Sizita Dawood and his son Suleiman, two members from one of the Pakistan's wealthiest family, and Stockton Rush, who is the CEO of OceanGate, the company behind this doomed voyage, finding its final resting place not far from where the Titan itself sank more than 100 years ago. So signing off from here, hope you have liked this video, and if you have learned something viable and substantial from this video, please do not forget to like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. So until we meet next time, thank you so very much.